Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. We are starting our crawl space waterproofing series. This is a professional DIY series for those homeowners that want to waterproof their crawl space and or basement. We'll show you how to install gravel perforated pipe along the footer, what type of pipe is used. We'll also show you how to cut the basement floor and install that same system. We'll show you the exterior waterproofing, NDS quick drain, and gravel perforated pipe, where it goes and how it's installed. We'll show you how to find black mold and how it's formed. We'll also show you how to install a vapor barrier. Teach you how to dig that trench along that foundation wall. Show you how to core your foundation to bring that water from the sump pump out. We'll also show you gravity discharge. Lots of ways to move water out. We're also going to show you the professional series for installing French drain catch basins, the best applications for it. All of this will be available and posted in a playlist after they're all up, so you can always come back and watch the entire series. So here in our second video of the crawl space waterproofing series, we are working for a deputy sheriff here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and what we're doing is we're going to be solving the water problem that arises in his crawl space. Let's take a look. Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we're putting a sump pump and a sump pit and some footer tiles in a crawl space here in Charlotte. And this one's pretty nice. So we've got lots of headroom. Shouldn't take us too long inside, but we also have to drill through this wall, take it outside, connect the downspouts, and send it out to the street. So let's get started. So again, in this crawl space, we're able to actually almost stand up. So it makes it a lot easier to dig. And Paul's getting started where we're going to set the sump pit. But along this wall, which it gets dark back there, but back in the back, we will put a gravel perforated pipe to bring that water down the wall and down here to the sump pit. And this is something that the homeowner could do themselves. This one's really not that hard to do. It just takes a little bit of work, a little bit of labor, a lot of materials, sump pump, sump pit. We'll go over that too. So Paul's already started the pit. You can see he's already about a fourth of the way. The top of this was real easy, and you can see some tree roots in there. Of course, it's getting into clay now. And really, you can just put the soil out here to the side and take your rake and grade it down, and it'll work really good. So he's digging that. Gerald's doing the footers. I'm going outside to run the trencher. Okay, so we're getting ready to start our trench outside to hook up the downspout drain right here. We're also going to be drilling through the wall and bringing out the sump pump line, which will come over and tee into this line, and then it's going to run all the way out to the street there behind the van. Okay, so we've got our downspout drains and our discharge pipe, or our lines, dug with the trencher. Downspout there, downspout there. They come over here and wide together, and then they'll go on out here to the street. We had to be a little bit careful here. You can see these markings. This is a cable or a telephone line, and it crosses our trench. So we had to hand dig across there. But most of the roots are cut. We'll bring it right on out here to the end of the truck. Gas line right here, the yellow marking. And there's another cable line right here at the curb. Okay, so we're ready to set up our sump pit. And first thing we do is turn it upside down. We're going to cut this little nipple off. We just use a hacksaw. Just takes a second. This will allow the inlet line from the gravel perforated pipe, which is the footer tile, to come down into the system and into the pit, and the pump's going to lift it up and carry it away. So after we cut off that nipple, we're going to go ahead and perforate our pit.
perforate our pit so that as water floods into the bottom of this pit, it actually goes around the outside first. We don't want the pit to flood upward or to float upward. So just drill some holes around the side of your pit. And this will allow the water to percolate into the pit from all sides, as well as your footer tile. And that should do it. Now we're ready to set up our pump. Put our pit back down in our hole. Square it up so it's ready to go. And let's hook up the pump. We're using a Zoller M53 Mighty Mate. It's 1/3 of a horsepower and 110 volts. I think it's 7.5 amps, really a low draw. It comes with instructions, but I'm going to keep that on the ground so that we can keep it out of the mud. First thing that we do is we start with an 1.5" male threaded adapter. This is a male thread. It goes into the female portion of the pump, which is right here. And we screw this in hand tight. Only piece that's not glued is this piece. And to be honest, this is really about it on setting up the pump. We're going to cut a piece of pipe above the bar, put a check valve on there, and I've showed you that many times. Check valve only allows water to flow one direction, upwards, because after it comes up and turns and goes through the wall, we don't want that water to come back and spin the impeller backwards. Really simple. Okay, so now we're on the outside of the house, on the outside of the crawl space wall. This is the foundation wall, brick wall. What we've done is we've counted down. This is how we get where we know to drill through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we want to go right here in the center. So let's get started. Okay, let's review that because this is really an important little piece. In order to find the measurement for the discharge of the sump pump, remember the pump's down inside the crawl space, down underneath, down deep. There's going to be a pipe that comes up. We need to bring that pipe out, and we're going to join it to this downspout drain, which will go out to the street. But in order to find this measurement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we just came straight down the center of the vent. And if you look inside, you can see our 90 ready to go. We're ready to hook it right up. So again, making a measurement is not that hard to do. And if you're off by, an inch or a half inch, it's going to still work. But we're pretty exact when we make our measurements. So hopefully you can do the same. Okay, so now we're just going to slide a piece of inch and a half PVC right through our hole. You can see it fits perfectly. Real nice tight fit, really nice tight fit around the pipe. And we're going to hook that up inside here in just a second. It'll come out, have a 90-degree turn, come down the wall, go underground, and basically tie into the downspout. It'll probably tie in over here. Okay, back down inside the crawl space, you can see we've got our pipe that came through the outside wall, cord the foundation. We're going to go ahead and glue all this together. You can see it came out just right. Perfect fit on down into the sump pit. So we start by just putting a little base of gravel down here in the trench. Paul's just pulling out some extra soil. Try to get it, nice depth. We just need a little base, a couple inches. Yep. We take that all the way back down through the footer tile so that the perforated pipe sits on the gravel. because what happens is the water actually floods from the bottom of the trench through the gravel up into the pipe, and then it's carried away to the pit. Okay, so we've got our perforated pipe we've got gravel underneath of it. Perforated pipe comes into the pit. It's hard to see, but there's a sump pump down in there. Lid's installed. Now we're laying the pipe, and what we're doing is we're going to be putting gravel right up to grade, bring the gravel right up here to grade. So now we're going to go ahead and pour some gravel here and just see how far our bag actually goes. Don't get it. Okay, great. Next bag will go back that way. So we're looking good. And there's our little V cut right down into the curb. Pipe will end right here once we finish this trench and cover it up. So this is what it looks like after it's been plumbed and you bring it outside the wall. You can see we've come through the wall nice and clean. Pipe comes down into the ground, comes out to here actually, makes a 90, comes over and it tees into the downspout drain right here. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day. Bringing the gravel back in here is the hardest part of this whole job. And you can see we've got all our gravel out here. We've got gravel by the bag. We've got some in the trailer that we put in buckets. It's all got to go through this crawl space door, and it gets dark back there real quick. But there's actually 2 doors. There's been an addition put on here. So once we get into the main crawl space, it's quite large and a lot easier. But right here at the opening, this is your hard part. And again, we just need to get our gravel back there, and this job will be done. So this video showed pretty much a complete install. Everything from footer tiles, sump pump, core discharge, where that water goes once it comes outside, that one goes all the way to the curb. And again, that was for a deputy sheriff. Interesting, once we do a job for a department, we pretty much get that entire department that calls us and says, hey, you did a job for this guy, we'd like for you to do ours as well. We are very highly recommended once we do a job and install. If you're doing these jobs yourself, it's very important to remember that it is labor intense. Our videos do make it look fairly easy, but remember it is very labor intense. Okay, we're on the road to Nashville. We're heading to do some nationwide foundation work, crawl space and exterior work. Be sure to tune in for those videos coming up in the next couple of weeks.